Hello. These are the most expensive consumer earbuds I've ever tried. So the big question is, can they drag me away from the fantastic AirPods Pro 2? Let's find out. Last year, my ears were literally opened to Bowers Wilkins. I loved the PX7 S2s, and I loved even more the amazing PX8s. They might be potentially the best sounding headphones I've ever used. So when they got in touch and said, do you fancy checking out the Pi7 S2 earbuds, I just said yes straight away. Being a massive Apple fanboy and consequently a big fan of the AirPods Pro 2nd generation, can the Pi7 S2s beat these? I need lots of convincing. So the Pi7 S2s are an update to the 2021 Pi7s, and they cost £349. Immediately that makes them a very expensive pair of consumer earbuds, but let's give them a chance. Firstly, they have a 24-bit connection between the two earbuds. They also have two-way drive units, which promise to work just like high-performance speakers. They've got Bluetooth 5, adaptive noise cancellation, 3 mics in either earbud for calls and also the active noise cancellation. They've got touch controls, voice assistant integration, and the case has something called retransmission technology, which means you can basically take the included USB-C to 3.5mm jack cable, plug it into the case, plug the other end into another audio source somewhere, and then use the case to stream the audio from that source to the earbuds. There's two fairly obvious applications for this. The first one is for aeroplanes, so if you're flying, you can connect this case to the in-flight entertainment system and stream it to your earbuds. And also, if you've got a laptop, for instance, playing high-res audio, you can transmit that audio via the case to the earbuds, although I don't think that will give you the full-on, I might be wrong with this, but I don't think it would give you the full-on high-res audio because it's still relying on Bluetooth, but that's very, very unique. The rest of the features aren't that unique, but they are welcome, obviously. So the case is fast charging compatible and can be charged wirelessly, and in terms of battery life, you get 5 hours from the earbuds with noise cancellation turned off, and you get an additional 16 hours with the charging case. The earbuds themselves are IP54 water resistant, which is fantastic. The case isn't. This doesn't have an official waterproof or water resistant rating, so it's worth bearing that in mind. Let's start with the earbud design firstly, and personally I'm not normally a fan of these kind of stemless earbuds, which are just a bit chunky and a bit difficult to get into your ears and stick out too much and that sort of stuff. But the Pi7 S2s are actually, I think, my favourite version of this type of earbud. Firstly, they're not too thick, they don't stick out too much, and secondly, getting them into your ears is really, really straightforward. I'm using, I think, the medium-sized rubber tip things, which are just fine for my ears. I've gone running with them, they haven't fallen out, you can shake your head, they don't fall out, and they're very, very comfortable. The only downside is the touch controls, and this is where stemless earbuds like this do occasionally fall apart, because you can use either of the earbuds, this kind of metal part here, you can use that part. You can tap it and instigate play and pause. You can bring up your voice assistant. You can turn active noise cancellation on and off. The problem with that is that as soon as you start adjusting the earbud, so as soon as you put it in your ear and press it in like that, I've just done it. You play things, you pause things, you turn noise cancellation on and off. It's really frustrating. That's where the stem design of the AirPods Pro 2 is an absolute winner in my book, because you have to squeeze it for anything to happen. So that's one downside with the Pi7 S2s, but I can forgive that because, like all Bowers Wilkins stuff, the design is just absolutely stunning. These are made to last and they look fantastic as well. Moving on to the case, and it's absolutely massive. So that is the Pi7 S2 case, and this is the AirPods Pro 2nd generation case. It's night and day. This is huge. Part of the reason, this is a bit of a guess, but I think part of the reason this is so big is because it's got that retransmission technology built into it. So if you're the sort of person who would make use of that a lot, if you take it on planes a lot and you benefit from that stuff, then you'd probably look past how big this is because it's delivering you something very useful. If you don't use that feature, it's hard to look past the fact that this is just massive, and it does feel very big in your pockets. It is very well designed, and this is how Bowers & Wilkins get you, because even if their products are slightly flawed, like every product, you look at the design and just think, I can let you off, because it's a lovely looking case. It's got the great big Bowers & Wilkins logo on there, which I'm a big fan of. So again, they get me like that really, but I wish it was a bit smaller. On to sound quality, and as I always say during headphone and earbud reviews, sound quality obviously is very subjective. So with that in mind, take this with a pinch of salt, because you may think differently when you hear them, but I'm very confident in saying that the Pi7 S2s from Bowers & Wilkins are the best sounding pair of earbuds I have ever put in my ears. Honestly, the first time I put these in and listened to, it's my normal test track, Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer, but as soon as I put that in, it sounded incredible. It sounded like I was wearing a pair of PX7s, not quite PX8s because they are, up there, but it was like I was wearing a very nice sounding, relatively expensive pair of over-ear headphones. There's plenty of bass without it being too overwhelming. It's really well defined bass actually, and it goes unbelievably low, surprisingly low for earbuds. The top end is nice and bright without being too too much, and the mid-range is lovely as well. There's not too much mid-range going on, which for me is absolutely perfect. I think apart from the design and the Bowers & Wilkins name, you're paying that £349 for the sound, and it's worth it. So basically, if you're looking for a very, very, very good sounding pair of earbuds and you don't care about much else when it comes to their features and stuff like that, you just want the best that you can find for about 350 quid, stop watching this video now and go and buy the Pi7 S2s. Although there is some more stuff to discuss. The Pi7 S2s are active noise cancelling earbuds, which is rapidly becoming a standard feature at this price point, quite rightly, and well, it's very, very good. These actually have very good natural noise cancelling, if you like. So like I mentioned earlier, they're very easy to get into your ear, and if you pick the right tip, you'll get a very good seal basically, which does block out a lot of the noise around you anyway. But when you turn on active noise cancelling or standard noise cancelling, it gets even better. These also have an ambient pass-through mode, which is the same principle as transparency mode on AirPods Pro. The idea is that you let the outside world in momentarily so you can be aware of your surroundings. It's incredibly useful. I use it all the time on AirPods Pro 2. The problem is that whereas on AirPods Pro you can squeeze the stem and turn on the transparency mode and turn it off very quickly if you need to, you can't do that on the Pi7 S2s. There's no touch control to turn on and turn off the ambient pass-through. You have to go into the Bowers & Wilkins app and do it in there. That seems like a bit of a miss for me, and when you turn on the ambient pass-through mode, it turns it on for all of the settings. So whether or not you've got active noise cancellation turned off or turned on, that ambient pass-through mode remains active, which is a really weird setting. So the Bowers & Wilkins Pi7 S2s are £100 more expensive than Apple's AirPods Pro 2. Are they worth it? Well, on the face of it, it doesn't look too good for Bowers & Wilkins, because for that £100 less, the AirPods Pro 2 give you a better case, better noise cancellation, they have a proper transparency mode that you can turn on and off via the earbud. The battery lasts a little bit longer, and they benefit from all of the Apple ecosystem stuff. But it depends what you want. If you want all of that Apple ecosystem stuff and things like transparency mode really matter to you, then it makes sense to save yourself 100 quid and get the AirPods Pro 2. But, and again, this is where Bowers & Wilkins get you, if you want the best possible sound, and you don't mind forgoing the strange transparency decision that they've made, and the size of the case, the size of that thing doesn't bother you. Basically, all you care about is amazing sound, great design, and let's be honest, the name, the Pi7 S2s are worth that extra £100. And if you've still got some time and you fancy some more Bowers & Wilkins stuff from me, keep watching for a link to my review of the amazing, spoiler, PX8s.